this concept of time multiple counter value loans, TMCLs, this is something which should work for large numbers. When a very large number of people is participating, this concept can be developed into a good product. And I believe that this product could be a very good product in Islamic banking and finance, especially from the perception viewpoint. A lot of Islamic financial products, especially on the asset side, because of the pricing involved, a lot of people would say that they are still very close to interest-based products. So if someone is interested in coming up with a product which is completely interest-free, okay, then a concept like time multiple countervalue loans can be used. And as I said, this product or the product would work if it attracts a large number of participants. And this product can be used on the liability side as well as on the asset side of the balance sheet. This can be used actually. The nature of this product is such that it can be used on both the assets and liability sides together, creating this link between liabilities and assets. And I would explain this in a minute. The basic idea is that this is a number game, first thing. And for those of you who are familiar with this committee system, or what is known as ROSCA in the development economics literature, you would understand what I mean by that one. Through an aggressive marketing campaign, ideally aided by technology, we have now a lot of fintech initiatives, the likes of Easy Pesa, Easy Money, Easy Transfer, these kind of mobile-based products. If technology can be used to increase the number of participants, this would work very well. So a nationwide committee or nationwide ROSCA can be developed whereby a large number of people participate in this program. So this would allow to collect very small amounts of money from very large number of people. Okay. The objective is to allow families, in one particular case, to acquire a house through an affordable interest-free savings and loans organization. Now, SNL organizations or SNLs, they are very popular in America, as you know. Savings and loan associations or organizations, they are like credit unions, and they have been used in almost all the states in United States of America for what the name suggests, savings together and then lending. Okay, savings and loan associations, which is a form of ROSCA. Now, this proposed solution in case of home financing, okay, would not have any burden on a government. If I refer to the government of Pakistan, which has committed itself to build a very large number of houses, and it finds for affordable houses, and it finds itself in a very awkward position or situation whereby it cannot fulfill its promise. So a program like TMCL based product, this will not be a burden on the exchequer, and hence this would not increase the budget deficit of a country which is already facing huge budget deficit. So the idea is basically to attract very large number of people who should be contributing small amounts into a pot, which would then be used for financing certain activities. And we are using the example of home financing. So the funds, where would the funds come from? I have said the funds would come from a very large number of people, ideally with the help of technology. Now, the members of this, we call it People's National Committee, for example. So members, okay, this very large number of people, they contribute to a pool set up by this committee. And there could be three types, possibly more, but at least three types of members. Those who are interested in buying a home, those who are interested only in saving in a Sharia compliant way. They don't want to get any interest on their savings, and they don't want to pay any interest on anything they borrow. So that kind of plain vanilla saver who is looking for safe custody kind of thing. You know, I would like to park my savings for a while, for some time, and I'm not interested in any return. In in the Western world, you will find a lot of such people because the rate of interest, especially these days, is very small. So a lot of people would like to put their money into current account only, given that this gives them flexibility to use the money whenever they want. And the third type of members would be investors. You know, those who are looking for some opportunities to earn some return. Now, in addition to these three sources of funds, the money, additional money, if it is needed, can be raised through capital markets, possibly by way of sukuk. Okay. And the fifth source of funds could be property developers, because this is a home financing product. Property developers, they would be part of the equation, and hence they can contribute some capital into the pool as well. So the total funds, K, would be coming from home buyers, from savers, from investors, from capital market, and possibly from the property developers or others, any other source of funding. So this is the basic thing. You know, we are looking for an arrangement which allows a large number of people to pool their funds together, and they may have different objectives. One set of members, they would like to save to buy a house. Others, they would like to save and park their money in a safe kind of arrangement. Others, they're looking for some returns on their savings. And of course, if further additional funds are required, they can come from other sources, including capital markets. Now, this is how it would work. So we have a home buyer. Okay, so home buyers, they would be members, savers would be members, and investors would be members, and they would be contributing specific amounts to this pool. Now, part of this money which comes into this pool, that would go into a trust structure. This could be a cash work structure, or just we call it a trust structure. Okay. And whosoever from these home buying individuals would like to buy a house using this platform, the trust would be actually buying those houses and putting them or keeping those houses in that trust structure, while the home buyers, they would become beneficiaries for the time period, for the financing time period, after which through a mechanism which would be disclosed in the trust deeds, these home buyers, they will become full owners. So the home financing would come through this trust structure. This trust structure is required because this is a very good uh, risk management tool as well. Okay. Someone asking how investors will get the returns on their investments. Noor Farhana, I would come to that point. Okay. So this is then the savers, of course, whatever they have contributed, okay, they will get that money whenever they want to. And of course, the investors, they have contributed KI, and they would get KI plus return. And Noor Farhana, how they would get return, I am coming to that point. Now, but before that, let us take this numerical example. So M1, the home buyers, say they are 500,000. So 500,000 members, they are interested in saving to buy home whenever they can. M2, these are about 300,000. These are the savers, okay? And M3, 20,000, these are the investors. Now, if each prospective home buyer is required to contribute 1,000 rupees, 1,000 rupees is about roughly about $7-8 a month, for example. Okay, so 7-8, say $10. Okay, $10 a month you contribute, and if there are 500,000, 500,000 such members, so in PKR, 500 million would be monthly contribution by these people. Okay, and the savers, they are contributing about 1,000 rupees per month as well. So they would be contributing 300 million rupees a month. And then we have these investors. Investors are wealthy people, so they can invest 100,000 a month. Okay, a lot. By this I mean an amount which is significantly larger than the amounts contributed by other types of members. So these guys, they may be contributing about 2 billion rupees a month if their number is 20,000. So total annual pooled money would be 33.6 billion PKR. And as I said, out of which certain amount would go into this trust. And of course, the other people, how they are going to benefit. I would come to this point system. Okay. So basically, whosoever puts $1, 1 rupee into this account, they would get 1 point per 1 rupee per day. So if someone has put 1,000 rupees in this pool for 30 days, they would be getting 30,000 points. And this concept is not novel concept anymore. These reward and loyalty programs, they are based on this concept now. Okay. So in this numerical example, in 1 month, the home buyers, their collective points would be 1.5 billion if they contribute in accordance with this numerical example. On an annual basis, these guys would have about 6 billion points. M2, the savers would have 10.8 billion, 900 million into, so they would get, no, 900 into 12. Anyway, so I'm not sure if this figure is right. So these people, they would have on a monthly basis 900 million points, and on annual basis they would have certain number of points, depending on, I think this 10.8 comes from this Excel sheet where there is a certain assumption. Okay. And the investors, okay, they would have 720 billion points. Now these savers, okay, they would actually be not entitled to have these 10.8 billion points. Rather, the fund manager, the manager of this whole, they would get 10.8 billion. Only those who commit to keep the money for a certain time period, they would be entitled to these points. And because these savers, they can get their money at any point in time, so they will have to forego their points in favor of the fund manager. The investors, however, they would retain their points. In this particular example, there are 720 billion points. Now, where these guys, where these guys, they would be benefiting from these by way of selling these points. Okay, and we will come to this point. Before what the points, what are these points? We say that, these points are based on the contributions and the time period. So if someone has put 1,000 rupees for 30 days, the total uh, uh, points would be 30,000. Okay. And if someone has put 300 rupees per 100 days, that would be equivalent to 30,000 points as well. Now, the question arises, these home buyers, their interest is to get their homes. So how would these home buyers be selected? These home buyers would be selected on the basis of the number of points they have accumulated. So anyone out of these M1, M2, M3, they would be, and of course M3, as I said, their main objective is uh, to earn some return. So out of these, let's focus on the home buyers only. So these home buyers, there are 500,000 in number. So out of these 500,000 people, whosoever has got maximum number of points would be the first one to get the home. Then the person less in number, less in points, and certain, of course, okay, we will come downtown and so on. It doesn't mean that someone who has just joined the program would not be able to get the home, uh, but after a very long time, the people would be able to trade in these points. So if I join this program today and I have got only 250,000 points accumulated, for example, and the person who is on the top of the queue has got 1.9 million points. For me to become ahead of this one, or at least equivalent to that person, I would need 1.65 million more points, which I can buy from the fund manager, or I can buy from M3, i.e. the investing members.